No chains can hold me.
Yo, 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 what is up? It's Mini TV here, coming at you with another video once again. Been making a lot of videos recently, but it's because I've had time off from uni, so I'm trying to get as much content out for you guys as possible. Today, I wanted to do a video on a carry hero that so far has been kind of taking the competitive scene, particularly in the last tournament, by a storm, being picked up by Nigma almost every time they can on Miracle, and it is the Lifestealer. Miracle has been playing this hero, and with the sort of change in item build, it's made this hero look absolutely broken. So I wanted to get a video out to sort of show you how and why the item build is so strong, and that if you pick this hero, you will win your games as well. So without further ado, let's get into the game. So guys, this is the game. I ended up picking kind of Lifestealer quite early on, in almost an attempt for the other team to kind of somewhat counter me, because I wanted to show you how strong this hero is, even running into a few counters. And in this game, they had like at least two, in being the Razor and the Morphlin. Obviously, Razor's kind of a very obvious counter, in that obviously drains my damage. I can't do much to do with it really. It's kind of very hard for me to kind of get away from the link, and the link can just destroy me. And Morphlin, because it's again very hard to hit on the Morphlin because he has waveform, but also he can turn into me and use my rage sort of against me and stuff. So kind of two differently decent counters against me. And in this game especially, actually I'm playing against Razor in the lane, and in terms of just what's happening right now, obviously I see there's a lot of action going down bot. My support Snapfire is sort of trying to secure the rune for myself, so as a result I'm going to try and kind of walk up into their high ground and take theirs, but for some reason Pudge happens to be sort of sitting in the Roche pit, and there was not really much. It's kind of a strange place to be. So I try and walk. I was going to walk up high ground, but in the end, Razor was here as well, so I had to just kind of run away. And I think I just survived because I do get kind of hooked here, but luckily I survive with just a little bit of HP left altogether. But luckily it's kind of still like early on, it's kind of before the runes have even spawned, so I'm going to have a chance to run back to base and then TP to the tower. I mean, obviously in this case it didn't work out, but it definitely is something that I'd recommend doing. Is always try and find a way to get any kind of small advantage you can. Obviously in this game, my Snapfire was down bot, so we couldn't contest, and even if he was probably top, we couldn't contest for this initial bounty rune anyway. So I was trying to run up on the high ground and take their bounty rune, even though I was just by myself. But they had kind of novel positioning and like sort of sit in the Roche pit, so I didn't expect them to do that. I thought they would just be maybe on my high ground, but nonetheless. So as for iron builds, most carries are pretty similar. Particularly if they're a melee carry, is just sort of going 3 sets of regen, 2 set of tangos and 1 salve, 3 branches, and obviously in the Quelling Blade as well. And it's all about just kind of having as much regen as you can to sort of stay in the lane, but also the branches help with nice sort of stats as well. So as you can see right now, obviously I'm playing against a Razor, which is the core, so he's going to be the one that's going to get in the last hits. So in scenarios like this, obviously whenever he links my ally, I'm going to be hitting the Razor because he can't do anything about it. He has to be hitting the Snapfire, and also obviously whenever Pudge came up to the wave, I was hitting him because I get good benefit from my feast from that respect. So when you play, obviously lanes where the ranged hero is the one that farms and the melee is the one that sort of is the supporting role. In this case, obviously it's Pudge and Razor. I can obviously man up on the melee support a lot easier than I can on the range when I'm playing a carry like this. So in scenarios when obviously he's out of position, I'm just going to try and hit him, but at the same time not try and miss any last hits where I can. Got to be a little bit wary, obviously, of the hook from Pudge, but when Razor's out of position like this, I'm more than happy to just kind of right click, because Pudge is just trying to land a decent hook. So pretty standard stuff really, just want to make sure like the range creeps aren't getting denied. I took quite a bit of harass there, and obviously need to be wary of the Pudge hook as well. But really in this lane I'm not really expected to win. I'm playing against a counter, not only in the game but in the lane as well, Razor. As long as he has space to chase me, he can link me and kind of completely wreck me. So I'm just going to try and get as much as I can out of this lane, because I'm not expected to win it. Obviously, if my Snapfire's being gone on and I'm in a position to help, then I will. But I don't want to be missing any of these vital CS, because whenever I get the chance to CS, I should take it, because it's going to be very difficult for me to CS in this lane. Right now, I've kind of done a decent job in kind of keeping lane equilibrium. In this case, I obviously have pulled the creep wave into my tower, because I see that my Snapfire is going to pull at 215, so it's okay if the lane pushes out, because it will eventually come back to me when he pulls, and I want to have these creeps kind of blocking, because Pudge is like right here, obviously. I can't see him, but I know he's there looking to sort of hook me out. So I want to have bodies in the way of me, but also I want to have the wave far away from Razor, so I can last hit, because if the lane is, if the creep wave is close to me, I'm going to be able to outlast hit a Razor who has slightly lower base damage, but I also have a Quelling Blade as well. So I shouldn't be missing any last hits to Razor, and as long as I'm not getting hooked, it's fine. So obviously, I'm just going to try and sort of CS as best as I can. Obviously, going to go on the Pudge, like whenever I have creep advantage, and Snapfire is sort of pulling as well. So I'm going to try and go on them so they don't contest the Snapfire pull as well. In this case, obviously, I'm just going to try and, the wave's slowly coming back to me, but I need to be a bit careful for scenarios like that. But in this case, I get hooked. I play a bit greedy, really, like if you can see. Like, the creep wave is coming back to me. I might maybe miss one CS, but Snapfire is obviously not near me because she's busy pulling. So really, if I was doing it correctly, I should just wait for the creep wave to come back to me and then CS on the tower. But I get a bit greedy, try and go for this last hit as well, and I get in a position where Pudge can hook me and he also blocks me in as well. I kind of panic a little bit and to be back to base, where perhaps I could have TP'd to the T1 tower because I had a salve on me, so I'm going to have to do the long run back. But luckily, Snapfire does a second pull here as well, I think. Oh no, she doesn't. But luckily, this creep wave just kind of catches the second wave coming up. So I only missed maybe 2 or 3 creeps because I'm already running back to base, because this wave is not under tower. Luckily, if this wave was under tower, I'd be in a lot worse scenario, because I would have had like two waves missed out instead of just one. But still a slight misplay from me. But luckily, I was quick enough to TP before I was going to die. And I get hooked again. But luckily this time I'm closer to tower and they can't dive me. But as you can see, the lane is kind of difficult. All I really want to do is just be kind of last hitting, and the Pudge makes it a little bit more difficult because he can force me out of position, which is good for the Razor, who can then abuse with his static link. So I've taken quite a bit of harass, but I'm not doing too bad. Obviously, me TPing back to base is kind of bad because I've missed at least 4 or 5 creeps, and the static link has kind of made me have less damage to try and last hit as well. So not doing too bad. I think I did the first 3 minutes I was doing okay, but until that hook happened, I was in a bad position. And now the wave's in their favour, and Snapfire isn't in a position to fight either. And obviously, whenever Pudge is out of position, I'm going to try and hit him, but I do not want to be getting linked by Razor, because if that happens, then I have to instantly run away, otherwise I'm going to be completely useless. So really, in a scenario like this, I just kind of want Snapfire to pull 24/7. He could have just pulled the small camp at 415, tries to get the good pull, and it does work, which is good, because then now I get another kind of creep wave. But Pudge, because he's in a good position and the pull wasn't kind of far away, Pudge was able to get the wave. But regardless, though, I get to sort of have a wave on the tower, which I'm happy about, because this is really the only place where I can get CS safely. So I brought out more regen, as you saw in the courier, because as long as I have the wave under tower, I shouldn't really be dying, obviously, but I need to keep myself topped up with regen, because they are going to do some harassment on me. Snapfire goes and gets the rune, but now the wave is in a really bad position because obviously Pudge took the last wave, so I'm in kind of a terrible position where I can't really come up to last hit, and whenever I'm in a position where I can't last hit, I'm not too happy really, because they pick Razor as a counter. This is the offlane player, and I picked Lifestealer before he showed. So obviously he's got the advantage just from a drafting standpoint. But as long as I can maybe get away in this lane, or get his way as much as I can with this lane, then maybe I'll be able to get something. Again, obviously, I sort of see the Pudge here. This ward from Snapfire is actually really useful, actually, because it allows me to sort of see where the Pudge is, and I can try and sort of CS as safely as I can. Yeah, we don't really have any kill threat. The only kill threat we do have is if maybe one of them leaves, and then we're 2v1. But until then, again, I'm kind of pinging, wanting the Snapfire to pull the safe camp, because every time he misses that hard camp or Pudge takes it, it's going to be bad for me. Whereas if he pulls from, from this sort of side camp, as I do get linked here, if he pulls from this side camp, Pudge is a lot further away to contest, and I only need him to get some kind of pull off so that I can get CS on the tower, but in the meantime not. So right now we see Pudge mid, and so this is what I was talking about earlier. In a straight up 2v2 lane, we can't really contest. We have no kill threat because Razor completely saps all my damage. So there's no threat from myself. However, when Pudge leaves the lane and we're 1v2, then we have a chance to actually kind of kite out the Razor and even perhaps man up on him, even if he has the link on me, if we get enough damage. So Snapfire gets the pull off. And now I'm kind of sort of telling my my Snapfire, Razor is alone here. We should try and punish as much as we can. So I kind of man up on the Razor here, trying to almost bait his static link. And in this scenario, he does link me. He links me, but he links me late because it was on cooldown. And in a scenario like this, because it's only a little bit and it's kind of late, I should be still hitting him because I have my Orb of Venom. I still have a little bit of damage, but instead I kind of try and break the link and then run back. But obviously by that time he's already created enough distance, and he ends up surviving with the salve as well. So really a small misplay from myself. If I was a bit more conscious, I could have maybe got 1 or 2 more attacks in that would have probably secured the kill on the Razor. But nonetheless, we don't kill him, but we're enough to force him out of lane, which is perfect for me, because now, even though I'm so far behind on last hits because we had a really hard lane, I'm able to get 2 or 3 creep waves uncontested because Pudge TP'd mid and Razor's so low that he has to go back to base because he doesn't have a salve anymore. So even though we didn't get a kill, this secures me some kind of advantage, which I desperately need because I'm really low on farm. As for skill build, the skill build is pretty much always the same. You're maxing your feast right now because you need it. It gives a lot of attack speed early on. Gives you kind of max health lifesteal as well, which is all, and you only need really kind of a 1 point in each. I picked up the early boots, which is definitely different from in probably a normal scenario. In a normal scenario, I probably wouldn't need to pick up an early boots because I have an Orb of Venom, but because I'm playing against a Razor, I need as much movement speed as I can to break the tether distance with his link. So in terms of the old item build on Lifestealer, if he was playing in a favourable matchup, maybe against a melee offlaner, you're sort of seeing maybe the rush on the Maelstrom, for example. Obviously, the early Javelin is really beneficial, and you get a lot of value out of the having high points in Feast earlier on because of the high attack speed. And with the Javelin, you can make it proc quite a lot and ends up making you do a lot of damage in the early laning stages. Because previously, when they changed Feast as the max health lifesteal is only lifesteal and not actually damage as well, which it used to be. You didn't have the attack speed on Feast, so you wasn't able to benefit as much from these early proccing items like Orb of Venom, like Javelin, or any kind of early attack damage like Blades of Attack. But obviously what we've seen from the Mad Moon tournament with Nigma picking Lifestealer at almost every opportunity they have, this Miracle Armlet into Dessa Rush is kind of showing how strong that can be. And obviously with the 7.24 slight nerf on Maelstrom, the damage reduction by 10, it's only small, but it kind of gives more weight to looking at other options, because obviously this was buffed as well in terms of increase in damage. So the buff to Armlet and the nerf on Maelstrom is enough to swap the item build into how I should be playing. So yeah, just a small thing, but it's something to think about. But obviously, if I didn't need the boots and I still wanted to go for the armlet, perhaps I could go the Blades of Attack first, because I still benefit from early attack damage with my feast. But in this lane, obviously, I need the boots of speed. So Razor TP's top, and we know that obviously because he's walked back to base, and now with a TP from rotation from Lifestealer and Razor being by himself, now we can start kind of controlling and really doing a lot of work in this top lane because Pudge is busy kind of trying to make plays elsewhere. So again, I had quite a bad laning stage. I was about 15 to 20 CS behind the Razor. Now I'm 10 CS above him, and now we've killed him, and now he doesn't have a TP. So, with the next 15 to 20 seconds, I'm going to actually be equal on last hits with the Razor, which is really, really big. So a nice rotation from the Earthshaker, and I'm in mode trying to just kind of recover because, as I've said before, where I was in a bad lane. So, got 1 point in Rage, 1 point in Open Wounds, kind of value points in both when I'm maxing Feast. In this lane, I'm going to be maxing Rage because I want that extra duration on the movement speed because again, as I said before, I want to kind of just keep the Razor as far away as possible. So what I'm doing here as well is I'm trying to keep lane equilibrium. We've killed Razor. I think we only killed him once. Yeah, we only killed him once, but we obviously threatened him twice, so much they had to walk back to base. So even though I don't have Snapfire with me or I don't have Earthshaker, I want to keep the lane equilibrium close to my tower so that Razor feels threatened to walk up here. He's he's level 4. I'm level 6 at the moment. Obviously Snapfire is rotating in as well, and he's kind of he's thinking doubly whether I should walk up to top, and it's those kind of decisions that you want when you're playing carry or even playing offlane. You want to be forcing your enemy lane opponent to think, to make decisions. Okay, do I walk up here and then maybe get caught out by a gank from Earthshaker and Snapfire? I'm kind of forcing his hand so much so that he now feels needed to walk mid, which is really not really what a Razor wants to do. He's level 4. He wants to really stay in lane as much as possible. The moment I sort of see Razor not in the lane and elsewhere, then I can start pushing it, and it helps obviously that Snapfire's pulled this for me as well, so I'm able to auto attack the wave. But before then I was keeping the wave control as much as I can, because I wanted to make Razor feel pressured. But obviously now he's not in this lane, I want to pressure him back to top. It's something that BSJ talks about when you want them to feel threatened so much that they don't come to lane, and then when they're not in lane, you want to punish them for not being in lane by pressuring their tower, for example, and that's what I'm doing here. So pick up my phase boots, and I'm picking up a early wind lace as well, again because I just want to have as much movement speed as possible because I'm playing against a Razor. So from a pretty bad laning stage to having a decent game, really. I'm higher net worth from everyone on their team other than the Meepo, but that's just a Meepo. Obviously pressuring top tower now. See the Pudge, just want to force rotations out. I don't think we can kill him, but I want to force something out of the enemy team, seeing as obviously my Lena's running bot. We see the Razor from this ward here, and that's enough for me to kind of say, okay, we've got something out of the kind of trade on the Pudge. I'm happy now just to sort of run back and just force out. So they chase me here, which is kind of exactly what I wanted, because they're missing a whole creep wave of experience and gold, but also I have a catapult hitting their tower as well. I know they can't really kill me. I have rage. Pudge misses his hook, and I'm happy just to sort of TP out. I kind of make a bit of a... this TP here is kind of almost a bit bad in some ways, because this is the TP I should have made perhaps when I was hooked the first time, and I had that on my mind so much so that I TP'd to here, perhaps instead of TP'ing into base. But Lena said he was TP'ing top, so I wanted to be somewhat involved in the team fight if something was going on. He has travels, he TP's onto this wave, and I'm kind of in the vicinity to assist, perhaps with an infest onto the Lena, which I do here. So infest onto the Lena probably wasn't even needed, but it's trying to be useful. And again, we're making plays happen, we're making movement happen, and again we're forcing Razor to come to a lane and then to instantly leave it the moment he gets here. So simple as that. So in terms of item build, I mentioned before about how good the armlet build is now, and There's no change here. I'm going to be building into an armlet. And one thing that I've watched a lot of Miracle do, as I see my Snapfire dying here, I can't contest. I see Pudge TP as well, and I'm happy just to farm in the meantime, because obviously Pudge is TP top now, so if I want to, I can kind of TP bot and pressure, because I know that Pudge can't join in any of the engagements, because he's just shown to TP top. I'm just going to back away here, just kind of want to farm safely. But yeah, what was I saying? So yeah, about the armlet with Miracle. So the old the old item build on Lifestealer used to be the Mjolnir into Heaven's Halberd, but because of the nerfs and the buffs to armlet, that's the kind of build he goes for. However, even with the armlet, you can still be building into Heaven's Halberd, but in this game I specifically don't, because there isn't really a great Heaven's Halberd target. But, I mean, the item itself is still fantastic, so don't feel just because I'm not going Mjolnir that I don't need to go, or I can't go, Heaven's Halberd. It's a great item on Lifestealer. Obviously, I take use of the self HP and the lifesteal amp as well. So I get hooked by Pudge here, kind of the wrong. I mean, if we just go back 10 seconds here, I kind of know he's in the vicinity, and I probably should be walking behind instead of right here. Could have been spotted out. Luckily, I had kind of quick thinking. I get hooked here, instantly use rage, so I'm not taking magic damage from that, and I instantly open wounds on the razor and run away. And that's kind of all the benefit from my phase boots, as well as my windlace as well. So small things that make a big difference. So obviously I have static link as well, and I'm kind of low on HP, so I use the infest here. But I kind of want to stay top if possible, because I can kind of protect this lane by razor. If it's just a razor itself, I can contest it. So I end up running top to defend that tower. I don't have infest really on me, and I don't really want to be fighting into a Meepo level 12 right now, because I don't have an armor, I don't have any spells, and Razor decides to TP in as well. So I'm going to try and be somewhat useful to my team by pressuring and pushing this lane top. So I try and be useful, because right now I in any kind of engagement or any kind of fight, I'm not going to be useful, particularly not if Razor is in the fight as well. So I would be more useful for my team by taking this tower, because I'm opening up the map, I'm getting some gold for my team, and I'm trying to just be somewhat useful. So in terms of talents, I think the 30 attack speed is always beneficial. 200 health is good, but I think maybe you could use that if you are maybe going off lane Lifestealer and you want to sort of tank up. But if you're playing carry, I think the attack speed is just too valuable to pass up. Obviously, if I'm building items that have proc on, like Basher, which I eventually will be going, the attack speed is just extra nice, because it's extra attack speed from Feast, but also extra attack speed from the talents. That can allow me to proc quite a few of these orb effects, for example. So end up taking the tower, and now I've got my armlet, and now I see an opportunity. I'm willing to TP in. So we get an Earthshaker ulti onto the Meepo, and I see Snapfire walking in, so much so that we kind of man up on the Razor. So kind of just try and commit onto the Razor as much as possible. When he's out of kind of position, I just want to be hitting anything that I can. Lena shows up as well, and we end up killing the Razor as well. So I kind of commit a little bit onto the Lich, and makes him use the ice armor on himself. I'm kind of in a position to again help out. This one was quite good, infest onto the Lena. And just before I play this, I just want to have kind of the mindset that infest is, before Lifestealer, the infest is kind of like an infest bomb, where you jump into maybe a storm spirit, or in this game perhaps a legion commander, wait for them to blink in and then explode, and you do loads of damage and go from. But in this game, and in this patch, sorry, when they've changed the Infest, it's more almost like a mid-game team fight where you're able to kind of reset and to sort of sustain. So obviously I have barely any HP, but I jump in to the Lena, give her more HP, give her movement speed as well to try and get her out of harm's way. But also, I'm able to kind of reset and kind of bait out and give me some HP as well. So if this fight does go on any longer, as you can see, I'm regenerating quite a fast pace as well. But I'm able to kind of get Lena kind of a good amount away, ends up getting hooked. But now with Meepo gone, I can jump out, kill the Lich instantly, and then we end up killing the Pudge as well. So, a really good play, and I end up getting punished. Meepo comes in, I can retoggle my armlet, a TP from Legion as well, and we kill the Meepo as well. So huge team fight, a huge couple of minutes. And that's all because, I'm fighting at the right time. I'm using my spells correctly with my Infest. But, you compare this fight to maybe the 2 or 3 minute fight before, where I didn't have my armlet, and the team fights in the game could be looking completely different. I'm playing against a Meepo. I want to have some kind of presence in the mid game, because otherwise he's going to take over the game. But really kind of good couple of minutes there. I'm just going to speed up a little bit. Not much else to say other than we want a team fight. We want to take the objective straight off of it. And that's kind of why you also wanted playing this part of the map as well. Obviously, in that case, it worked out well because we took a team fight in the right area. We won the team fight. And then we took a tower and objective after it. If we took a team fight in our top jungle, there would be no objective to take. But we took a fight in the right place. So in that case, I'm just trying to force out bot. I know I can't really die as long as I don't get hooked from Pudge. But in that scenario right there, we saw 3 TVs bot, which is great because then it allows my team to sort of farm effectively, and when we're in good value there. So in this case, Legion comes bot. We're just sort of trying to set up on a kill on the Morphlin, but Lich is standing behind the Morphlin, and I instantly swap because I know that Meepo had the Morphlin had the strength game. In this case, again, jump into the arena. Meepo commits onto the Legion, and then we can commit onto the Pudge. So it's just having kind of a good map awareness, even in these team fights with all these small skirmishes. Where is Meepo? Can I man up? Can I not? In this case, we've killed the Pudge, we've killed the Lena. Everyone's running towards us, and we can man up. And again, set up kills on the Meepo and on the Morphlin. Again, another great couple of minutes where really they should be in front. But again, we're playing, the right part of the map. We're, in and out of team fights, sort of baiting engagements here and there. And it pays off drastically for us. And I'm just trying to be efficient here, farming Ancients while they're pushing the lane. We might not be able to take this tower because they're sort of running up soon, and they think they have Fortify as well, and they're probably looking to defend it if possible. So just trying to push up. I ping that they're closer up and they want to fight us, and when they do the Fortify, they've already TP'd in as well, so Raze is no longer farming. They're in the bottom half of the map where they don't really want to be. That's when we back off, and we're able to then move elsewhere. And look, they're all TPing bottom. Now we have the rest of the map, which gives us a massive advantage as well going forward. So we know they're around here, and so because of that, I'm going to try and push out mid, force them to make the play they just made a bad one. And if you look at my net worth now, I'm top net worth as I get hooked here again. Think I end up dying. That was just a bad hook from me. Luckily, a nice armlet toggle and a cookie from Snapfire, and I'm out. And that's just kind of the strength of armlet. If I had Mjolnir there, I'd be dead without a doubt. But I'm getting hooked left, right, and center. In this scenario, again, I'm just trying to sort of see if I can help out because I saw Meepo bottom, but they don't commit, and I'm able to go in here. Obviously rage straight off of the Ancients. It's a small thing, but it makes a big difference really here. And again, thinking of engaging, but Meepo shows up, and I'm happy not to engage. But I see Razor maybe walk up high ground, and I sort of end up committing. But again, I see the Meepo nearby, and I don't want to commit or be in trouble basically. I lose my Courier, unfortunately, which had my Deso. Nice dodge there, and again Meepo's kind of away. Lina shows up, and I'm able then to commit back onto the pudge. Get linked, instantly run away, retoggling armlet, and maybe you're going to try and jump in the Lina or someone. They end up killing the in the Razor as well, and a TP from Legion. I'm able to jump back out, help kill Meepo again. And you know, it's those small kind of margins really in these team fights. I'm living with 1 HP. I'm armlet toggling, and this is kind of baiting the enemy team. Like, these guys aren't bad players. It's just that they think they can kill me, but they can't. Jump in with the into the infest, using the armlet toggle, and again we're killing this Meepo. And basically every time we kill Meepo, like, what is he right now? He is 6-3. Like, he's having a good game. He's still top net worth, but every time you kill Meepo, particularly in the mid game, it means 2 or 3 or 4 deaths from the enemy team, really, because of how important Meepo is in this mid game. So these early fights is going really, really well for us, because we know eventually this Meepo will scale off and not be particularly useful. So ITB mid, I know top's been pushed out and pressured. They don't really need me. They killed Morphlin, and Razor's TP'd bottom, and we can't really contest Razor because 1 link on me and I do no damage, as I've said that time and time again. So just trying to push out lanes again, just kind of keep on farming. In some ways, I'm trying to wait for my courier to come back. I had my Deso on it, and Deso just drastically improves my farm right now. So I'm playing a little bit greedy here. I don't really have vision on their high ground, so I'm trying to play a little bit far back. But at the same time, after this Meepo's died 3 times, I'm feeling confident enough that he can no longer bully me out. I'm level 17, he's only level 16, which is always good, because Meepo normally always has the level advantage. But because of how the team fights have gone, I'm happy to just simply bully him out whenever I see the opportunity to. So again, kind of just pushing out top lane. I'm keeping an eye, obviously, on mid lane as well, because if something happens, I do need to be there. Lifestealer is a carry that really wants to kind of engage and fight whenever possible. He's not an AFK farmer. In this case, just waiting for my Deso before we see the opportunity to kill on the Morphlin. Maybe Legion should wait a little bit for the Lina to come in, and as a result, we just slightly don't have enough damage for the Morphlin. Maybe if we waited for the Lina, it would have been enough. But that's that. Close attempt, but wasn't enough in the end. So I've got my armlet, I've got my Deso now. Obviously I've got all my skills maxed out, and as I go for the level 15-30 damage, I think that's kind of a no-brainer. You have to go for the 30 damage. The movement speed is nice, and if there was a game for it, it would probably be this one, because I'm playing against a Razor and a Morphlin, so any movement speed can help. However, I've took in the 30 attack speed talent, and I also have the benefit of having high attack speed from the feast. So because I've got such high attack speed, increasing my damage is therefore more compoundingly good and valuable, because I have high attack speed. So the damage is just very, very useful. So Lina's kind of in the area, so I'm kind of sort of seeing if there's an engagement, trying to push out, maybe force a rotation. As I see sort of my Snapfire get done by 3, don't really want to walk into those 3, and Lina's going to TP, or maybe kind of leave as well. Shows to TP because Meepo's there. But she's still in the same area as well. So I want to be kind of helping her if possible, but I also want to be efficient at the same time as well. So I'm thinking about TPing bottom, but when Morphlin walks up, I'd be careful. This is really important. So, I mean, it looks... that looks really bad from Morphlin, obviously. He's looking... he's... What is he? If we look on his HP, he's basically fully agi with less HP as well. But if you see my positioning, I don't just walk into him, because if I walk into him, then he can instantly morph strength, and then we miss this gank here. From my perspective, you see how I'm kind of staying out of fog, playing behind these trees, and as a result, it was enough to Lina to get the kind of blind stun from fog, which is able to kill the Morphlin. And with Morphlin dead, and we have top tower pushed in, we're able to take this tower. We sort of see a chance on the Lich as well, and he sort of goes here, but with the buyback from Lich and Morph coming up, I'm kind of hesitant in fighting anymore, seeing as Snapfire isn't with us as well. So I'm kind of just wanting my team to play a bit cautious, but we are on the higher ground, so if they walk up into us, then we can commit. But not something that I want to be fighting into, really. But again, they do walk up high ground, they link, but again, because of that, I'm able to run out, instantly break the link, but they're not committing so much so, and neither are we. But we do have the high ground ward, and that's kind of a ward you do want to be defending. If you watch a lot of high pro games, or even streams actually of like high pro teams or high pro players like Crit, RTZ whenever he does stream, even Gork, it's all about, in these higher tier games, it's about defending vision or defending wards. So even though maybe we could be pushing in bot, if say someone like myself TB's bot right now, there's no way that I can come back over here for this fight. So therefore, my team has to retreat, or if they're not, thinking they're going to take a team fight without me, and it's 4v5. But normally, what would happen is for TB bot, my team would obviously have to leave, and then when they leave, then the enemy team have a chance to de-ward this, and this ward is so impactful because it kind of pens them into the base. It gives us the high ground vision. So in kind of a higher tier game, it's all about defending wards and defending vision, and so it's important that we kind of posture in this position. Lena can TP bot, but us because he has travel, so if he wants to, he can come back to us as well. Engagement kind of mid. It's a bit messy really, but the Echo Slam did enough damage, and so did the Snapfire, so much so that I can commit even though we don't have the Lena, because she's going to be late, but she's here now. So I'm just trying to be useful wherever possible. Going in obviously. But we don't want to commit. Obviously now it's 3v3. Raise back up. It doesn't look like a great team fight, and as a result, it's not. We kind of committed a bit too much, too heavy. Morphling comes in with Rage, and so does Razor as well, obviously. So kind of a good team fight from them, and I can't be committing in a fight like that. So I just have to just back off. Unfortunately, we have to just commit to a loss in that team fight there. So obviously they're going to be pressuring mid off that fight, so I want to just kind of hit a couple of creeps top. And again, with that loss of team fight, we lose the high ground ward, which is a shame. So got my Deso, got my Armlet. Level 20 now. So as for level 20 talents, the evasion is kind of too valuable. The 50% open wounds lifesteal isn't particularly valuable. It already gives 70%. And I'm tipping back here because Meepo's showing bottom, and Lich was dewarding 5 seconds ago. So I know it's just the Morphling and the Razor, and we have 3 about to be 4 with Snapfire coming up, and we have Earthshaker in a good position here. Gets up a good stun, and it's a simple kill from the Morphling. Kind of a very, as we see, the BM pause as well. Kind of a over-regression really from Morphling. Not as twice he's been caught out by a stun from Fog, and with Morphling dead, we can main up on the Razor as well. So a good catch from the Earthshaker there, but probably a bit over zealous by the Morphling in that engagement there. So yeah, just going back to the talents, obviously the 20% evasion is just a lot better than the 50% lifesteal. Plus, I'm getting 35% lifesteal from open wounds, and I have the 3% from feast as well, and that's max HP as well, so it's even more. So don't really need any more than that, and the 20% evasion is always going to be useful, particularly against multiple enemies like Meepo. So with that kill there, we can go straight into Roshan. I talked about how I'm probably not going to go Halberd this game because there's not a good target. Meepo, there's so many. Razor doesn't do that much damage, so I can't get onto him, and Morphling's too mobile. So even though Snapfire kind of died there, I feel like we're still able to kind of man up. Kind of a very lucky stun onto the Meepo, and as a result, Meepo jumps in and ends up getting caught out from a kind of a random stun from Lena, to be honest. Kind of a vac stun, I'm not going to lie. I give the Aegis over to the Lena as we kind of continue to chase for the fight, because it's a good team fight for us. Because I don't think I can, as long as my positioning is good, I don't think I'm going to die in this team fight, and I don't think I can die in this game really. As long as we win the team fights and the team fight's going well for us, there's no way I die. I only die if the whole of my team is dead, and I can't run away, or I can't rage TP because Pudge has ultimate. available. So giving the Aegis to the Lina is definitely the play, because she's fragile. She can die into maybe a morph combo or a Meepo poof combo as well. So I push out top as they're pressuring mid, because I wanted to kind of push out top before I went mid, and they forced out fortification. But I'm here now. 2 of their members are dead, so I'm looking to try and jump if possible. And in this case, we do get a jump while they are still dead, which is definitely the play to be had. So now we just want to be hitting buildings if possible. We force a buyback from the Razor, so I kind of just want to hit the racks and get back. But they're posturing that we can't fight. But that's good though. Like I said before, they bought back. We still have the Aegis. We don't need to rush the team fight. Just straight away. We can just kind of reset, get wards down, take a smoke fight when we want to. I rage here just to try and catch the wave because it gives me the movement speed. Maybe a little bit unnecessary, but it's a small thing. So yeah, it talks about how I didn't want to go halberd. So the next kind of natural item is to build into the Abyssal Blade. Probably one of the best items in this patch right now. Ever since they gave the blink stun, the 600 range stun on the Abyssal Blade, it helps so much. Even on carries that are mobile, like Anti-Mage, it's just having that instant thing. And for a hero that doesn't have any mobility, like Lifestealer, a 600 blink is invaluable. So good. And it is only a single slot, so I'm still able to carry the Windlace for me. As you see here, I'm kind of looking over at this ward because we have a good vision here. I want to kind of punish if they walk up this high ground, but my team really isn't with me. Legion's farming the jungle for some reason, and so right now I want to jump on this Pudge, but really my team isn't in position. I get open wounds there, but if my team's with me, we can commit. But that's kind of a poor position from themselves. But so much so that we're here now, we're able to take this tower. But again, I'm trying to look for a fight because we see Meepo top. But again, my team isn't in position. If we get like a Legion blink ulti there, that's an instant kill onto a Razor that doesn't have buyback. So it's just kind of poor positioning from my team. But obviously you can't force things if your team aren't in the right position. So right here I jump into the Lina. She has travels, so she can TP top and also be bot if there is engagement, and I don't use my TP, so I invest into the Lina, TP top, ping out of the Meepo, and it's so much, it's good enough that we're able to kill the Meepo from a decent kill, even though we don't have, even though we still have the Aegis and we haven't fought. So right now I'm just sort of saying we can just push down mid, Meepo either force out the buyback or take the racks if he doesn't have buyback, and that's what I'm telling my team. Just group up now, like there's no way we lose a fight if we are as 5, because we have Aegis advantage and we have numbers advantage as well. And in talks of neutral items as well, I think it's a small thing, but it's a quick side note. Sometimes when I play Lifestealer, I do like to build into Chrysalis. It is the best damage item for cost effectiveness right now, ever since they buffed it from 38 to 45 damage. And on a hero that has high attack speed and kind of lowish damage, the high damage and the crit chances makes this hero so good. But because I had an Imp Claw, I kind of felt it may be a bit more useful if I just went straight into the Abyssal Blade. But definitely sometimes I go Chrysalis after maybe Armlet, Deso, Halberd, perhaps if I need the tank ability, because I am still a little bit squishy. But I have the Imp Claw, and it's probably one of the best items. I think it's probably for a carry like Lifestealer. I think it's probably one of the best neutral items, because first of all, it's a tier 2 item, and so you get it early on, and the crit and the damage is just so valuable and so useful. Obviously, tier 3 item, Orb of Destruction, is probably fantastic. So is Titan Sliver and Paladin Sword because of the lifesteal, but we didn't get those items. But it's a small thing. So walking down mid, obviously Meepo doesn't have buyback, but we don't really necessarily know that. But we can just kind of hit racks handedly. I get hooked and into sort of linked by Razor, which isn't really the most beneficial. I kind of want my team to kind of just jump on them, because we know Meepo doesn't have buyback. There's a nice stun from the Lina. We kill the Razor here. Doesn't have buyback as we know, so we're able to kind of commit and fight, more and more onto them. But Meepo is up, but still, as long as we're sort of as 5, we shouldn't be really losing any kind of team fight. I think Aegis is still on the Lina, and we're 5v3. I kind of get hooks, but that's fine, really. I just want to make sure that I'm able to get kind of out. Kind of a good play from both the Meepo and the Morphlin. My supports really should be behind us, so they can't get jumped like that. But instantly they kind of make the fight a 4v3, nearly a 3v3. But it is a 3v3 as they kill Thing there, and we're so close to killing the Meepo. We don't kill him. And just like that, we were 5v3, but because of kind of poor positioning, we end up getting kind of caught out. But we still have the Aegis. I'm still trying to force the back lines away. I get a kind of nice bash on the Pudge, but I buy back onto him, and Lich is coming back alive. It's kind of they're holding up a good fight, even though we really shouldn't have been in that position in the first place. But Meepo is dead, Razor is dead, Earthshaker is trying to make plays by himself, ends up kind of really out of position. We have to kind of help him. He doesn't have buyback, but he ends up dying because he's going into the tier 4s while we want to be hitting racks. Morphlin is going around kind of killing our whole team, so I'm trying to give some kind of protection from my team, but I can't chase the Morphlin because he's turned into thing. Razor's now back alive. They have a buyback onto the Lich, and immediately that's the time we get out. Kind of silly plays from my team, really. We should be just hitting racks and kind of ending the game, but for a few plays like that, it's enough for them to delay the game by quite a bit. So Legion is kind of committing onto them. I'm telling them to get back because we know they're about to jump into him. I kind of feel the need to just try and help him if possible, and luckily it's enough to force him to back off. So as you saw there as well, Legion's picked up AC. That was going to be my next item. I had the Hyperstone ready, but I didn't really communicate it with my team, and as a result, Legion goes and buys it. So now I'm forced to either buy a Moonshard or into Mjolnir. So funny enough, I end up going for Mjolnir, as we see sort of Snutfire getting picked off. Again, all we need to do really is just wait for our team to go as 5 and walk down walk down a lane, because they don't have buybacks and we do. But again, it kind of delays the game more and more, and gives them a chance really to come back into this game, and that's just kind of sloppy play in the late game, not really thinking and playing solo when they should be playing as 5. So the kind of the next few minutes here, I'm kind of walking around because there's nothing for me to do, and because my team are kind of playing out. I saw an opportunity down bot. Legion doesn't jump, and Meepo gets away. And as you see, I'm starting to build into Mjolnir. I mean, attack speed is probably less advisable than pure damage on Lifestealer, so that's why I'm going for Mjolnir, because it does provide a little bit of damage over the Moonshot, which is pure attack speed, and I have a lot of attack speed anyway, so and I needed to buy an item because I had a Hyperstone already, but I wanted to go for AC obviously. So this kind of engagement here, we're happy to take any fight because we know that we have buybacks and we are still ahead on net worth, and in that engagement we had Morphlin bot. So it's pretty simple. We grouped up, things go well for us. The moment we move out from engagements is the moment it goes bad for us. So I haven't talked about the level 25 talent. This one is kind of pretty standard as well. The 1.5 feast percent isn't that much really. I mean, it's about 50% increase, but because now it no longer does damage, it's only more about the lifesteal. You don't really need so much lifesteal on your hero anyway, because you have the open wounds. Someone normally has a Vlad's. In this game, it's the Legion. It's all about kind of damage, and so that talent was perhaps arguable to go for because if there was a lot of strength heroes, but now it doesn't provide damage. It's definitely not useful. One of the best things about Feast is really the attack speed, and that talent doesn't do anything about the attack speed. So +2 rage duration is really nice. Obviously, it gives me more magic immunity, but also more movement speed as well, which is obviously useful against the Razor and the Morphling, as we've talked about. So right now, if we see an opportunity, we want to kind of fight if possible, because Lich and Pudge are down. But we also kind of want to wait for Roche as well. I have my courier in the Roche, but luckily Morph gets picked off once again. I mean, Lina is just a good hero against Morph. So much burst damage, and if Morph isn't in like 2 or 3k HP, he's going to be struggling here. This fight is going mad. I'm going to kind of slow it down. Because it's kind of interesting. Again, really, like all that needs to happen is us to just kind of right-click the buildings. My team kind of underestimate Morphling and whether he has buyback or not. They instantly jump in. And it's hard for me to kind of commit onto anyone because Razor has BKB, but again get splits off. Morphling kills the snap fight instantly, and again we're committing and diving the base when we should just be hitting racks. 2 buybacks from both Razor and Morphling means this fight is a 5-on-5, and we've already committed so much already. I jump in the lead to try and help him, but I immediately know that he's going to die, so I have quick thinking, knowing that the Pudge ulti has been used, so I'm going to rage TP and get out. And again, it's just, you know, scenarios like this happen even in my games, even though they really shouldn't, is that, you know, when you have an advantage, which in this case we did, we had Pudge, Lich, and Morph all dead. Morph ends up buying back. Then it's a 3v5. Morph instantly kills our support because he's out of position. And I know they're taking Roshan because Legion Commander's in the base. So right now we don't have a buyback on Earthshaker, and Lena does have a buyback, but doesn't really want to use it because if she uses it and dies, then the game's probably over. And this is why late game Dota is so. I mean, I have played an almost perfect game so far. I'm 12-0 and 17. And you know, it's these small engagements in the late game, and we're 9k up, and yet we're still at a possibility to lose this game because if one of us doesn't have buyback or a lot of my team dies, we're going to lose our racks and our base instantly because it's a Morphlin and a Meepo. So right now I know that I have to make something happen. They're taking Roche. We can't commit or we can't really contest it because it's going to be a 3v5. We see a Razor out here. I'm just trying to want to commit, if possible, onto them because I know they're going to be busy doing the Roshan. Legion really should be joining us here because really there's nothing he can do in this fight. He ends up dying for no reason, but luckily we do kill the Razor who doesn't have buyback, and I also kill the Lich as well. So immediately this fight would have been so bad. Because again my Legion is trying to do something into Roche Pit when really he should be with us here, killing the Pudge, helping us kill the Lich and the Razor. But luckily it was good play by me and Snap. We identified that Morphlin and Meepo are not going to be with them in this engagement. We can kind of fight 2v3 because of the farm I have. And luckily Razor and Lich die, because if Razor and Lich don't die, really they can just walk up high ground and we're going to be in trouble. But luckily we kill the Lich and the Razor, forces the Morph and the Meepo to think twice before they start hitting onto our racks. So all I can really do now is kind of just hit creeps in the meantime, maybe push out a bot if needed, and just wait for my team to come back alive. And that's all we have to wait for. So we wait up for bounty runes. I've eventually built into my Mjolnir as well, and I'm looking to go for MKB next because all I want is damage, really. Because I need to be doing the damage, really, because you know, this Lina, it has good burst damage but doesn't have good sustain, and we need to be committing. Again, a nice kind of pick off from us. We end up able to just collapse onto the Morphlin who's out of position, and we know who doesn't have buyback now. So even after a few throws from my team, obviously they've made a few throws as well. Morphlin dying without buyback there, even though their team had Aegis. But we know he doesn't have buyback now, so we're able to look for any fight when possible. I just want Legion to jump. We know it's a 5 versus 4, and if we catch anyone with my damage and Legion damage, we can blow anyone up. I end up going for the Lich in this fight because it's an easy kill. No, he doesn't have buyback, and Ray's already committed so far away from his team, and we end up killing him. And finally, I mean, this game should have been kind of over maybe 20-30 minutes ago. We end up kind of securing kills on both Razor and Morphlin who don't have buyback. and that kind of ends up being the game. So a decent game for myself, to be honest. I play pretty well. Don't always, but in games I do, I'm gonna kind of say how it is. And I still had the Imp Claw kind of after all this time as well, so showing the value there. But that's kind of the end of the game, guys. I hope you kind of realise the potential, I mean, you know, of this hero. In this game, I'm playing against 2 counters I picked early on. We had some throws from my team, and yet altogether, even though I didn't go Molyneux, even though I didn't go the farming build, I'm still top net worth because of the use of, you know, Armlet, the use of Infest during team fights, and hopefully I've kind of convinced you how strong this hero can be. But I hope to see you in the next one, guys. Till next time.
Turns on the magnetize, gets a follow-up kick, but how much has he really got left to give? You got the flip tossed out, and now crit, focused down by Paparazzi, all the damage he needs through the God Strength, he gets it, and with a 4-star, he continues to be kiting them out. S4 will Burrow Strike in, he doesn't really be that effective. In fact, it's the stun the opposite way around. Arteezy slow on life, he'll try and hit you right inside of S4 to get the hell out of here. Burrow Strike in 1 second, but the mana, it got taken away by the Mystic Snake. They have to pop out, they have to fight. At least he'll be able to get 1 die back over on the Tusker, or maybe he can get more. A double kill for Arteezy! A triple kill for Arteezy! He's just turned this crap up! Ultra kill! Giving the Rampage the bash! It is Arteezy! Rampage is solo! BG Gaming! Do you want it? Do you want it?
Peace out, guys. Till next time. Ciao.
Sweet, sweet violence.